Last but one question for our finalists. Get ready, Mr. X. Tell me, what is the name of the absolute temperature unit in the international system?
Oh yes, I knew it. It's degree Kelvin.
Nope, wrong. It's Kelvin, just Kelvin, not Kelvin degrees. And that makes a difference. Come on, you need to make up for it. Focus.
You're right. I focus. I wasn't ready.
And now the most important question. The one that will determine whether or not you will win 1 million euros.
My body is ready.
What is the system that allows the production of two different forms of energy within the same power plant?
Stephanie of Monaco?
Well, that's unforgettable. It's shame because we were close. So you only win this magnificent copy of the dictionary signed by me.
Oh, alright. But what was the answer then?
Well, what if I illustrate it? Here it's Lund, in Sweden. Located in the south of the country, it's a charming city with a splendid university library, impressive cathedral, flower garden, but above all, this is the cogeneration plant in Lund, which supplied 25,000 households. It is very interesting, as you will see. Firstly, what is cogeneration? As mentioned earlier in the introduction, it is the simultaneous production from a single fuel in a single facility of heat and mechanical energy. The latter begin convert into electricity through alternators.
So does it mean that with only one source of energy I can produce multiple things like at the same time? Cool. But we could produce more than only thermal energy and electricity, isn't it?
That's correct. One can produce, for example, 3 types of energy simultaneously. This is referred to a 3 generation. This is the case, for example, with the Port Marianne plant in the French city of Montpellier. In this facility, they are not only generate electricity and supply heat networks, but also provide cooling for nearby shops and office buildings.
So I imagine that we could do big savings there. Firstly, with only one fuel and one power plant, we are able to manage 3 things at the same time. But in the meantime, we minimize losses by reinjecting them into the system. This is clever. But you told about a particular power plant in Sweden. What's special about it?
The plant I mentioned was the unique feature of not relying only on fuel for operation. It operates intermittently with energy from wind turbines, making the system more sustainable.
Oh, really? With wind turbine? But how is it even possible? A wind turbine can only produce electricity, not thermal energy?
Let me show you. Look, this is a diagram of how the Lund plant operates in a conventional manner. As mentioned, the energy comes from the single source, in this case, biomass. This biomass is burned in a boiler and serves to supply both to the city's domestic hot water networks and generate electricity through the turbine.
Ah, if I understand it well, the boiler feeds a water circuit in energy which is used for transferring the energy to the turbine and to the hot water network. But what's that second circuit we see in green at the top of the diagram?
That's the hot vapor coming out of the boiler. And in an efficient power plant, these vapors are not wasted, but rather used to preheat the hot water networks through another heat exchanger.
Ah, okay. So there are really no losses, and it works well?
Indeed, it does. Here are the different values we obtain. As you can see, we can heat the city's water up to 80 degrees and simultaneously supply an electrical generator with 38 megawatts.
But I don't really see how wind turbines could fit into this operation? Oh, yes, I knew. We burn them in the boiler.
No, not really. Let's rather look at the overall diagram of the power plant.
But it stings the eyes. Why are there so many things there?
Let's go through the diagram again. It's not complicated. Inhale. Exhale. Good. What we just had is this part in purple on the diagram. And there we have our wind turbine.
Then the wind turbines are used to heat another circuit with a heater. However, I didn't notice that my salt could transmit thermal energy. Does it work with my table salt?
No, it's not table salt, but molten salt. These are liquids, nitrates, which have the advantage of having very high operating temperature in liquid phase, up to around 550 degrees.
And I see on the diagram that there is a storage of molten salt. It goes first in a tank where the molten salt are hot. Then thermal energy is sent into the water circuit, which will activate the turbine and heat the domestic water. But if the electricity comes from wind turbines and that it's used to heat the stored molten salt, it means that we can hold thermal energy for later. For example, when there is not enough wind for the wind turbines. But then, when we use the storage, we still use the boiler at the same time?
Not exactly. These two systems work intermittently. In reality, it's perfectly capable of operating normally without the boiler. But in real life, we only hit the salt circuits when the price of electricity is lower than the price of biomass fuel.
So in the end it's for economic reasons that we use it, not for ecological reasons. Well, great. Good job, well done.
For now, mostly. But this system could evolve in the future to become more autonomous and no longer require a combustion system.
And does it work even if we don't use the boiler?
Yes, look!
But I still see a difference in the domestic hot water temperature. Right there.
That's true, but otherwise the operation remains the same.
There is a thing I still don't understand. How does the water in the circuit transmit its energy?
To better understand this point, let's look at the enthalpy diagram of this circuit. As you can see, the water first enters the turbine, represented by the green line here, at 540 degrees and 11 MPa. It undergoes an expansion that we can simplify as close as a reversible adiabatic process.
Why couldn't we just say that it's adiabatic and reversible?
Well, quite simply because it doesn't exist in real life. The water then decreases to 1.3 MPa and 225 degrees. Next, it goes through the condenser. The water remains at the same pressure but decreases in temperature to 180 degrees. This is called isobaric transformation. Then, between point A and point C, energy is released either to the turbine or to the hot domestical water. Next, the water in the circuit passes through a pump to be compressed back to 11 MPa. Then enter an evaporator near the boiler to reach a temperature of 540 degrees. Then, between point C and point A, the water absorbs energy. After, the cycle repeats.
Okay, so if I understood correctly, this power plant allows you to use a single energy source to produce several. It works well, but could be improved. Indeed, the combustion of biomass involves a high release of CO2, which could be improved with greater use of the molten salt network. This, therefore, remains a technology which has potential and which could be developed in any power plant using a thermal network.